Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your SmackDown Live and WWE Main Event spoilers. Happy birthdays for Wednesday, or Tuesday. Braun Strowman turned 33. Jillian Hall turned 36. Low Key turned 37. Former WCW WWE star Barbarian turned 58. Hall of Famer Wendy Richter turned 55, which was also announced on SmackDown. To the innovator that brought in rock and wrestling, Leroy Brown, aka real name of Roland C. Daniel, died on September 6, 1988, at the age of 37, of a stroke and subsequent heart attack caused by severe cirrhosis. Happy birthday goes to Molly Holly, aka Nora Greenwald Benshew. One report says she's 39, one report says 40. Colin Delaney turned 30 years old, being Wednesday, September 7th. Last week, Baron Corbin's match with Kalisto was nixed from SummerSlam card, reportedly due to time restraints, and now learned that Kalisto is actually injured, which is why the match was eventually pulled. Kalisto wrestled on the August 2nd SmackDown, losing to Intercontinental title number one contenders match to Apollo Crews. No word yet on the injury, but Kalisto had to be helped to the back after the match. Former WWE and WCW star Psychosis, who's currently 45 years old, noted that he'll be taking time off from his regular bookings in Mexico and will be undergoing knee surgery. Psychosis also said he's looking to retire from the ring in 2017. Former WWE Tag Team Champions, WWE Superstar Jacques Rougeau Jr., son Cedric will be participating in a tryout at the next WWE Performance Center camp. Rougeau is 6'7" and 315 pounds. Show you a picture of that for you, along with his dad. Paul Ellering's Authors of Pain from NXT have been each given individual ring names: Akam and Razar, or Razor, R-A-Z-A-R. Do it whatever. Hey, it's the same name backwards. Mick Foley has posted the following on his Facebook account, announcing that he is down 83 pounds in the last 8 months. Foley weighed 338 pounds 8 months ago and is now down to 255 pounds after seeing DDP and making better eating choices. He hopes to get down to 238, a total loss of 100 pounds. By December. Well, Mick Foley, I even tweeted to him, if I can do it, so can you. I was 385 myself when I was with TEW. And that was our wrestling training that helped that. And bike riding, walking, back and forth to work instead of driving. Well, my car broke down, so I had no other choice. Previously reported, WWE Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels has been assisting with training down at the Performance Center lately. Triple H posted the following photos on his Instagram account. Shawn was backstage at last week's NXT tapings as well. WWE has signed Texas independent wrestler Victoria Gonzalez. According to Casey of Squared Circle Sirens, Gonzalez, who was profiled by the Mirror last month, a second-generation wrestler, as her father Rick was a Texas indie wrestler. He also used the name Speedy Gonzalez or Rick Desperado Gonzalez for years. 6'1", 24-year-old contacted WWE with a tough enough audition tape and was brought to the WWE Performance Center this past May, despite not making the television show. After a successful high school basketball career, Gonzalez began training under father and others, including George De La Isla at the America's Academy of Pro Wrestling in Austin, Texas, and Rudy Boy Gonzalez of the Texas Wrestling Academy in San Antonio, formerly the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy. Below is Victoria's original audition tape. I have not seen the link. And there was also a former indie fan wrestler who should have been in at the Performance Center. She was a well-talented performer in the ring, and she was wrestling for another Houston TASW, Texas All-Star Wrestling, for that company. Bridgeport Bluefish minor league baseball team in Connecticut had a NWO night this past weekend featuring Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, and Sean Waltman. As you can see the photos in this, Bluefish defeated the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs 8-6. Bluefish players wore NWO jerseys as seen in the pictures. Also tweeted from at Frozen Moments CT, 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th. Put the at BPT Bluefish up 8-5 at Giant Sanity. Starting the rally. Hashtag NWO, hashtag New World Order. Showing you the pictures. Jimmy Patterson pitched a scoreless 7th inning. 6 scoreless 7 innings for the Bluefish. Also, Giant Sanity with Kevin Nash was also in the picture. Is showing you the trifecta with the Wolfpack and the guy. TMZ reports that Scott Hall was kicked out of a TGI Fridays restaurant at the Atlanta airport on Friday. Hall was said to be drunk, rowdy, and disrespectful to a female bartender. The witness told TMZ that Hall was drinking tequila shots and drinking Coors Lights before trying to hit on the bartender and called her a B word. This led to trouble with the father of the bartender, who was also at the bar. Hall reportedly did not believe the man was really the bartender's dad. A manager stepped in and asked Hall to leave, but he refused and the police were called. Police recognized Hall from his wrestling days, shook his hand and calmed the situation. Hall then left without further incident, and no police report was filed. And he did apologize on Twitter for that, and he is sober now. At least so he says. And supposedly this video link was a shot of the incident. This week's episode, Traveling the Stars, Ancient Aliens with Action Bronson and Friends on Viceland, featuring former WWE Champion Rob Van Dam and former ECW Champion Sabu. And here's a preview of that link there for you. WWE confirmed the following names for the Raw Cruiserweight division that I did on the Raw video. Grand Metalik, Akira Tozawa, Jack Gallagher, Johnny Gargano, Tommaso Ciampa, Cedric Alexander, Rich Swann, Brian Kendrick, Noam Dar, and formerly Masked Man, Manic, and Suicide, TJ Perkins. It appears this is the entire roster, for now at least, 10 guys. PW Insider reports the initial division will feature 10 superstars. Very possible that cruiserweights will be introduced to the division over time. Well, that episode's supposed to be September 17th. Current plan is for the Raw Cruiserweights to work Raw TV events as well as NXT TV events and NXT live events. They will likely start working with Raw live events as soon. Division kicks off September 19th on Raw in Memphis. Kurt Hawkins was backstage visiting. Or actually, he was backstage. I'll show you a picture of that as well. He was also at the Performance Center for the first time and tweeted the following. Kurt Hawkins, at the Kurt Hawkins, wanted also stop through at Performance Center. That's truly a special place for anybody that loves professional wrestling. Fact. Akira Tozawa lost to Grand Metalik at the quarterfinals of the Cruiserweight Classic. The video below, this video link, features Tozawa discussing the loss and his desire to get back inside WWE ring. This next video link features WWE Liaison Sho Funaki translating for Ibushi following his hard-hitting Cruiserweight Classic matchup with Brian Kendrick. Ibushi noted that he's happy about advancing, but not totally satisfied with at least some of the match. He admits to being sore after the match, but says the big win has him looking forward to the semifinals. And this thing for you. After losing in the Cruiserweight quarterfinals Kota Ibushi last night. Brian Kendrick thanked WWE for with the following tweet. As noted, Kendrick has been confirmed for the upcoming Raw Cruiserweight division. At Mr. Brian Kendrick, thank you at WWE for the opportunity. Thank you, hashtag Raw Mendoza. At Tony Nese and Ibushi _ Kota for bringing the best out of me. At WWE _ CWC. Well, Kevin Owens commented to Brian Kendrick after the match. At Fight Owens Fight, you know who's great? At Mr. Brian Kendrick. Great moment between him and at WWE Daniel Bryan on the latest Cruiserweight Classic episode. The Rock will be portraying Dr. Bravestone in a new Jumanji film that I told you all about last week and posted the following in regards to the role at this link. Instagram.com, The Rock. WWE Network is scheduled to release an Eddie Guerrero collection according to WWE Network News. Here's a description for Eddie Guerrero, Viva La Raza. From his trademark grin to the endearing motto, lie, cheat, and steal, Eddie Guerrero's versatility left an indelible mark on the WWE Universe. Celebrate a life that was taken from us all too early as we journey through the Hall of Famers' one-of-a-kind career in this WWE Network collection. From his memorable battles in ECW and WCW to his ultimate triumphs in WWE against Brock Lesnar, Chris Jericho, and Kurt Angle. One thing is for sure, Eddie Guerrero will never be forgotten. Emma is currently out of action with an injury, but it seems as though she's preparing to make a comeback with this music video. Training? Cruiserweight Classic quarterfinals kicked off with Grand Metalik defeating Akira Kozawa. Kota Ibushi going over Brian Kendrick. Metalik is now set to face the winner of ZSG versus Noam Dar, whereas Ibushi will wrestle the winner of Rich Swann versus TJ Perkins. Which was done on Wednesday night, and I have not gotten the results for that. CWC final airs on Wednesday night, like I was just discussing, September 14th from Full Sail University with Metalik versus ZSJ or Dar and Ibushi versus Swan or TJP, plus the finals. Video features Ibushi with the WWE trainers following his matchup. The next video link that I'll show you, Andrea DeMarco talking to Brian Kendrick after his loss. CWC commentator and good friend Daniel Bryan approached and they embraced. Bryan talked about meeting Brian Kendrick at Shawn Michaels Wrestling School years ago and got emotional when giving Kendrick credit for the wrestling he became. Bryan says he doesn't care if Kendrick lost. Kendrick was the best. Kendrick hoped Ibushi wins the whole thing because with Bryan retired, he believes Ibushi is the best wrestler in the world. Again, that link for you. Finn Balor indicated he will not be able to return in 4 months after undergoing shoulder surgery last week. Before that comment, we had heard 4 to 6 months, but that was concern backstage that he could be out of action for even longer. Torn labrums can have talents out of action for 8 to 9 months. There was some hope last week that Balor could be back in time for WrestleMania 33 season, perhaps 2017 Royal Rumble in January, but it's still too early to tell. Noted before that Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley had recently agreed on terms for a new WWE deal, but those deals were not executed sometime in the week leading to their departure on the post SummerSlam Raw. Well, it turned out that the Dudleys had a deal on the table for 1 or 2 years, and everything was agreed on, including financial terms, but for some reason, the decision was made not to execute the contracts, and that both sides would go their separate ways. No heat on either one of them. The Dudleys did not do anything to be released. It's also not a situation where they are unhappy, or there is nothing but positivity from both sides when it comes to the departure. Well, there's going to be 3 links from The Rock's YouTube channel, Rock the Promo, featuring the Great One himself, Rey Mysterio, Hurricane Helms, and Christian. Episode 3, I posted a link for number 6 on Raw. So these are out of whack. Well, 3, 4, and 5 are at this link. These links here. TNA sent a press release to ProWrestling.net to announce the Impact Wrestling TV tapings. Promotion will be taping in Orlando, Florida at Universal Studios on October 3rd through the 8th. The tapings will be held at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each night, following Bound for Glory pay-per-view, which will be held in the same venue on October 2nd. TNA is also selling VIP experience packages for $129 through the Shop TNA website. And I have learned that that price is for all the shows that week. So I wonder, you post your comments, is that a good value or not? Well, from rumors, Cody Rhodes going to TNA. Well, will he be in TNA by that time? Just wait and see. And also Wade Barrett, also headed that way as well. But as for now, he's only going to Ring of Honor. But Cody is also going to Ring of Honor as well. Non-contract, non-signed contract, but probably as a per appearance deal. Well, congratulations to Brooke Tessmacher Adams. She's now a mom, according to reports. Adams gave birth to her son Jace on Friday morning. She was in labor for over 15 hours. And I watched some of the video on her Instagram account, Instagram.com, Real Brooke Adams. Also a picture of her and the baby. Real tiny. But still, congratulations to her and her husband. Or significant other. Don't know if they got married. Whatever. Boyfriend, Wayne. Among other WWE superstars, the Sports Entertainment Organization recently reached out to on returning as Mike Knox. Well, who is now 38 years old. Knox wrestled for the company back in 2005 to 2010. Revealed on Twitter that Mark Serrano, Vice President of Talent Relations, offered him a full-time contract to return to the Raw brand. He was a member of the Raw roster back in 2008 to 2009. Knox, however, kindly declined the offer. While the 18-year veteran still wrestles in the independent circuit, Knox says he is no longer is physically able of competing on a full-time basis and therefore considers himself semi-retired. But if he was offered a part-time contract, kind of like Brock Lesnar, he will sign the deal. Chikara, Night 2 from September 3rd. No results from Night 1 or Night 3. PW Ponderings posted first match. Deonna Purrazzo pinned Crazy Mary Dobson with a modified Gato clutch. Match number 2, King of Trios quarterfinal round match. Hallowick, Icarus, and Jigsaw defeated Major League Mustache of Dasher Hatfield, Trent Seven, and Tyler Bate, when Hallowick pinned Hatfield with Never Wake Up. Match number 3, Mark Angelicetti pinned Missile Assault Man with a Colossal Bomb. Max Smashmaster came out and threatened to hurt ring announcer Vlad Radnoff if he weren't reinstated into Chikara. Princess Kimberly insisted to Director of Fun Mike Quackenbush that Max be reinstated so that she could take care of him. Well, match number 4, King of Trios quarterfinal round match. Warriors 3 of the Estonian Thunderfrog, Princess Kimberly, and Oleg Usurper defeated Team Original Divas Revolution, Mickey James, Lisa Marie Varon, and Jazz. Ray de Valadoros semifinal round elimination match. Frightmare defeated Space Monkey, Candice LeRae, and Tony Nese to advance to the finals. Space Monkey was eliminated by Nese with a pump handle reverse pile driver. LeRae was eliminated by Frightmare with the friggin' sweet diver. Anthony Nese was eliminated by Frightmare with knee calypsy. Match number 6, King of Trios quarterfinal round match. Team JWP. Hanako Nakamura, Manami Katsu, and Commando Bolshoi defeated the United Nations of Juan Francisco de Coronado, the proletariat Boer of Moldova, and Prekis Sabar, when Bolshoi reversed the Coronado clutch into a prawn hold and pinned Coronado. Coronado told Sabar and Boer that they were finished after the match. Ray de Valladolid semifinal round elimination match. Aerostar defeated Amasis, Johnny Gargano, and Wani to advance to the finals. Amasis was attacked by Frightmare on the floor and was unable to continue after the fact, eliminated him from the match. Gargano was eliminated by Wani with a running neck breaker. Wani was eliminated by Aerostar with a springboard splash. Ray de Valladolid will see Frightmare versus Aerostar on night 3. Ring of Trios quarterfinal round match. Team Sendai girls of Mako Satomura, Dash Chisako, and Cassandra Miyagi defeated the colony of Fire Ant, Soldier Ant, and Silver Ant, when Chisako submitted Silver Ant to a cross arm breaker. PW Torch reported that Ricochet is opting out of his deal with Lucha Underground. Ricochet worked as Prince Puma in the company and will be part of the already taped Season 3. His deal with the company prevents him from working anywhere else on TV until he is no longer on Lucha Underground's programming, or possibly even 6 months after, depending on which report you believe. Ricochet was previously rumored to be considering opting out of his deal at the beginning of the summer, with reports suggesting that he would end up in WWE. It's always possible that he could work something out, as Puma is masked, and he wouldn't be heading to WWE in that gimmick. So there wouldn't be any issue with conflicting marketing. Ricochet is currently taking Indy bookings and has Evolve dates set for September 11th, November 13th, and December 11th. Dark match prior to SmackDown. Baron Corbin destroyed a jobber with the end of days. Dolph Ziggler defeated Aiden English for the main event with a super kick after giving one to Simon Gotch 2. Pretty competitive match with English working over Ziggler for most of the match before a babyface comeback. After the USA spot, Heath Slater come out with Rhino and his whole family. He introduced everyone while kissing the butt of Shane and Daniel. One of his kids doesn't have a tongue, but Heath promised he'd buy her one when he gets a contract. Jack Swagger defeated Jinder Mahal in a very short match with Patriot Lock. And that was the end of the only results for spoilers from WWE main event. From Lincoln, Nebraska, with Mauro Ranallo, David Otunga, and JBL. We go right to the ring. Daniel Bryan awaits as a fan chant yes as his music plays. New SmackDown Women's title is in the ring on the podium. Bryan talks about the six-pack challenge to crown the new champion at Sunday's Backlash pay-per-view. He announces there will be a 6-woman tag match later, but first, we're having a women's championship forum. He brings out the first guest, Becky Lynch. Bryan plugs Total Divas when Nikki Bella is brought up. Becky talks about what it would mean for her to win the WWE Women's title, but Natalya interrupted her. Natalya calls her boring and says that the draft was the worst day for her career because she got stuck with Lynch. Natalya dissed her again, and out comes Alexa Bliss, dissing them all and calling Bryan a Bella trophy. Carmella interrupted, and Becky watched all three argue. Natalya accused Becky of trying to turn them against each other. They look to gang up on Becky, but Naomi comes to stand beside her. Nikki also was out next to even the odds. Nikki gets dropped, and Carmella retreats as Becky and Naomi clear the ring of Bliss and Natalya. Then we go backstage to WWE Champion Dean Ambrose approaching a staffer, then pouring a ton of sugar in his coffee as Ambrose walks off. Still to come, Ambrose and AJ will face off in the middle of the ring. Back to commercial. Well, my feed went off, and I didn't see that part. Daniel Bryan backstage talking to Shane McMahon when Intercontinental Champion The Miz walked in with Maurice. He's still not happy about facing Dolph Ziggler at Backlash. Bryan says he can hand the title over if he doesn't like the match. Miz versus Apollo Crews was up next. We got the ring. Out comes The Miz with Maurice for a non-title match. Dolph Ziggler on commentary. Apollo Crews is out next. Of course, he's smiling. Back and forth start. Crews greeted the fans after hitting a nice moonsault from the apron. We'll go to commercial with Crews in control. Back for the break. Miz regains control. Goes on to hit the big clothesline in the corner. Miz goes to the top, but Crews catches him with a belly-to-belly suplex. Crews comes back with a clothesline and a kick. Crews boots Miz in the head, keeps control as fans cheer. Miz counters the move and rolls to the floor for a breather. Miz then talks trash to Ziggler as he lands right at the table. Crews slides to the floor. Miz pushes him into Ziggler. Sending Ziggler to the floor. Miz sends Crews into the ring post and rolls back into the ring for a skull-crushing finale. Finish for the win. After the bell, Miz retreats without his title as Ziggler hits the ring. Ziggler raises the title as Miz looks on from ringside with Maurice, motioning for Ziggler to give the title back. Miz whispers something to Maurice, and she enters the ring. With smiles on her face, Ziggler has laid the belt on the mat now. Maurice picks it right up and leaves with Ziggler doing nothing but really sending a woman to do a job. Calls him a coward, and that's the end of that segment. Ziggler says Maurice won't be able to help Miz this Sunday. Music hits as he leaves with Maurice. We're going to Renee Young at the Talking Smack set. She's with AJ Styles. He talks about Dean Ambrose and ends up berating a production assistant. We go to commercial. I'll give you more detail in that because I didn't see that much. Both guys have a cell phone. AJ grabs a cell phone, looks at it. Oh, okay, you wasn't taking pictures of me. Still gets mad at him. Throws the cell phone against the wall. Or it sounded like glass breaking. Didn't sound like a cell phone. Well, he just threw it. And they exit the camera. Back for the break, we get a video package for the American Alpha. We go back to the Usos and Charlie Caruso. We cut promos on American Alpha ahead of their tournament match. We cut to Bray Wyatt for another cryptic promo on Randy Orton. Wyatt says Orton is no longer the greatest, the great predator he once was. He is. Wyatt goes on and says the predator becomes prey at Backlash, and all that will be left of Orton is chunks of meat stuck to the teeth of the Eater of Worlds. Wyatt tells us to run. Nikki, Naomi, and Becky versus Alexa, Carmella, and Natalya was up next. Nikki was out first. Commercial break. After break, Becky Lynch was out next. Naomi was out next with her 30-second promo entrance. Natalya was out next for her team. Alexa was out next, followed by Carmella. Naomi started off with Bliss. Bliss munches her, and Naomi unloads with kicks. Becky and Carmella go at it some before Nikki comes in, and Carmella retreats to the floor. Back to the commercial. Back for the break, we get more back and forth action. Nikki comes in off a hot tag and unloads on Bliss. She nails a nice kick from the corner for a 2 count. Bliss counters and nails a jawbreaker as Carmella tags in. She grabs Nikki, but gets picked up into a fireman's carry. Nikki drops Carmella for a close 2 count as Bliss breaks up the pinfall. Bliss argues with the referee, allowing Natalya to come in and floor Nikki. Naomi took out Natalya. Bliss took out Naomi. Bliss goes to work on Nikki. But Becky tackled her to the floor. Carmella applied the code of silence on Nikki for the win. After the match, we get replays on and come back to the babyfaces looking defeated in the ring. Still to come, AJ and Ambrose face off in the ring. Also, SmackDown Tag Team Tournament continues. We see the Usos and American Alpha walking backstage, back to commercial. SmackDown Tag Team Tournament. Usos versus American Alpha. Go to this link, see what happened. Back for the break, out comes Jimmy Uso with Jey Uso. Winners of this match will advance to the finals at Backlash. Well, this match was almost nothing but a squash. Almost. Chad Gable and Jason Jordan was out next. Bell rings and Usos attack from behind. Double team for about 10-15 seconds. Match quickly ended up with American Alpha getting the win and going to the finals. After the match, Go to replay of the quick win. Come back to Gable and Jordan pointing at the titles on display at ringside. Usos come in the middle of the ring, applaud them, clap for about 10 seconds. They go to shake hands. Usos turn on them and beat them both down. Heel turn, they destroy their milk and apple, end up injuring Gable's leg. Jordan and the referees hit the ring. As you can, I think in that link, you can see exactly what happened. Splash on the leg. To advance to the finals for the tag team champion. As the Usos exit the ring, Jordan and referees hit the ring to check on Gable. They have to escort him to the back. Back from the break, announcers go over what just happened, show replays. Carly is backstage with Randy Orton for words on Bray Wyatt and their match at Backlash. Well, this was kind of weird what he was saying. Some fans on Twitter were saying they basically did not understand what Orton was saying. Well, it goes to partially what he was saying in his TV series that he was filming while in his off time from WWE. Yes, it's a cop series, so it's something to deal with that. I'm just saying. Well, we go to the ring. Fandango has a mic. Tyler Breeze is unable to be here tonight because he's in Dubai gathering material for their upcoming fashion line. Fandango brings in a woman to dance with him, but it doesn't work out because she leaves the ring. Well, she even had a speaking part. Fandango asks if anyone else could come handle his hips, and as power goes off, Demon Kane makes his way out to a pop Fandango wants to feel Kane's fire and dance. Well, Kane doesn't agree, chokeslams him. Kane mocks Fandango dance and leaves the ring as the fans pop for him. AJ Styles walking backstage. He shatters they show a replay, shatters the phone of a staffer after accusing them of taking a picture of him. AJ yells about being the face that runs the place before telling them to pick up the phone pieces up. Still to come segment. Slater and Rhino versus Ryder and Mojo. Morrow leads us to a video package for Conor Skewer and Pediatric Awareness Month. Back for the break, we get a Kurt Hawkins vignette. He returns next week, and he was backstage at SmackDown. SmackDown Tag Title Tournament semifinals. Rhino and Heath Slater versus the Hype Brothers. We go to the ring. Out comes Zack Ryder and Mojo. Heath Slater was out next with Rhino, and we see Slater's family at ringside watching. Supposedly, Mojo starts off with Slater. Mojo and Ryder early control, leaving Slater and Rhino laying on the floor as we go to commercial. Back from the break, Mojo and Slater. Mojo has Slater down. Slater avoids an attack, and in comes Rhino. Rhino also tags in. They go at it. Rhino nails a big spine buster for a 2 count as Mojo breaks the pin. Slater comes back in and dumps Mojo over the top. Rhino floors Mojo on the outside. Ryder rolls Slater up for a 2 count. Slater gets dropped into the turnbuckle. Ryder misses Broski boot, and Rhino pulls him out of the way. Rhino tags in, hits Goro on Ryder for the win to advance to the finals. After the match, Slater and Rhino celebrate their big win. They check on the tag titles. They check on the titles on display at ringside. Slater greets his family at ringside. We go to Renee Young for an update on Chad Gable. Shane McMahon told her that his status is questionable for Backlash, but Shane will have another update during Talking Smack. Usos appear, cut a heel promo, saying that they busted ass for years and shown respect, but they're done with that. Back from the break, out comes champion Dean Ambrose to the ring. AJ Styles comes out before Ambrose speaks. Charlie tries to interview them, but Ambrose asks her to leave the ring because AJ gets nervous around beautiful women, and this could get ugly. Ambrose gives AJ an old bowling participating trophy that he received. Ambrose felt bad for AJ and wanted him to have something. Ambrose says that's the ugly trophy AJ will ever get from him. AJ says everything is always a joke for Ambrose. AJ says Ambrose has no idea who he's dealing with, because if he did, he wouldn't make AJ out to be a joke. Ambrose shows us footage of what happened last week with AJ getting crotched on the top rope. They have more words and things get heated. AJ kicked Ambrose below the belt with a low blow and he goes down. AJ talks trash and stands over Ambrose while fans boo. As SmackDown goes off the air. After tonight's episode went off the air, John Cena teamed with Ambrose to face Bray Wyatt and AJ Styles. Cena and Ambrose got the win after Cena hit the attitude adjustment on Styles. As Ambrose hit dirty knees on Wyatt to score the pinfall, I did get pictures, but there was no videos posted on Twitter. And also, more news from the pictures. While the pictures are being shown, Shane McMahon announced that Chad Gable is off Backlash show due to the injury he suffered at the hands of Jimmy Uso and Jey Uso on SmackDown. Shane claimed that Gable suffered an MCL injury that won't require surgery, but will be sidelined for 2 to 4 weeks. Shane and Daniel Bryan agreed that Usos will face the Hype Brothers at Backlash, and the winners will then face Heath Slater and Rhino later in the night in the finals of the tag team tournament. In a hilarious moment, Renee Young asked Daniel Bryan if Shane is the scenario, if this scenario was fair. Bryan said no because the Usos were responsible for the injury. This really doesn't make any sense for that very reason, especially when Shane and Bryan are babyface authority figures. Nevertheless, I like that they pulled the trigger on the Usos' heel turn, and I have them as the new favorites to win the tournament. And to tell it like James Storm would say to Heath Slater, sorry, not your damn luck. Well, that concludes my results spoilers for SmackDown Live and WWE main event. And that's the way it is. September 7th, 2017. See one of you. If you don't know, just call me brothers and sisters.